Okay, I'd like to call the meeting to order at 6:30. And what do we have for additions? I see you've got one, Jen?
Yep, so we have May 17th, the Saturday, review the road issues list.
May 17th road issue. What does that mean?
So Saturday, we had thunderstorms.
Oh, really?
And
Oh, yeah,
then
we had rainstorms, right?
People had requested to cover it in the select board meeting,
Cover what?
the Dodge Road issue. So I have an issues list of 4 different
Okay.
roads issues that
Oh,
we can give an update about.
yeah, sounds good. And anything else? Any other additions? Nada? Review of minutes, May 5th, 2025. This is the short meeting that was,
I just got one thing from
Yeah.
the warrants, just delete the E after was.
oh yeah, warrant
Other than
Was.
that,
was signed, so we can cross out the E.
yep.
Waste, I never heard of that word. Waste.
Other than that, it looks all right.
Scott's here, I guess. Yeah,
Yeah, you guessed correct.
you can hear us?
Can,
Thank you, we can hear you too.
and you all look wonderful, you and Carl.
How about Tom? Tom?
He has no comment on that.
Nice.
Hey, that's all right.
I thought his hair looked pretty good today.
No beauty contest.
His hair is kind of fluffy today. Okay, so, I guess you don't have any comments on the minutes? No? Okay,
Make a public comment?
yes.
On the minutes?
On the minutes? We're working on the minutes.
Did you get to the public comments part?
No,
Sorry.
we're working on the minutes.
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes as amended.
Second.
Any further discussion on the minutes? Not hearing any? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The ayes appear to have it, they do have it, the minutes are passed. Public comment, we have someone itching to say something on public comment. Deb?
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say, we added the request that you sign an extension request from TDR so we can enlarge our grant list in July, which is what we usually do. Rather than trying to rush into it, making a mistake.
Okay.
So it's just.
So is that in here?
It's kind of pro forma, it's on the agenda.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm gonna leave before that comes up, so if you had any questions, that's what you.
We don't have any, I have no questions,
We do it every year.
but thank you for pressuring us to sign. I mean, approve it.
We'll do the right thing.
We'll do the right thing, right? Okay. So anything else on public comment? Are you public?
I'm here to speak about the resolution. So
Okay.
It's part of the agenda.
So you're not public?
Okay.
Gotcha. Well, not officially public comment. I guess we don't have anything else. All right, so we'll move to the consideration of Rutland, Vermont resolution. I guess you folks are here to speak to that?
Yes, please. Just me. He's just
Okay.
moral support.
Oh, okay. So you're Peter Franzoni?
Correct.
Okay. Well, take a seat at the table, and you've got about 10 minutes, maybe 7,
Okay.
okay?
Pete Franzoni from Rutland City. As I'm not one of your constituents, thank you so much for providing me the opportunity to speak. I'm a veteran. Still hold my oath of enlistment pretty dear to my heart. That oath says that we're supposed to support and defend the Constitution. Have you guys read the... So I don't need to recover all that, so it'll take a while. Okay.
I have read it.
Okay. I guess then I'll get to the meat of the argument. Oath of enlistment. I do solemnly swear to support and defend the Constitution of the United States, and bear truth, faith, and allegiance to the same. And I will follow the orders of the President of the United States and the orders of the officers appointed above me, according to the Code of the Uniform Code of Military Justice, or the rules and regulations of the Uniform Code of Military Justice. There's a reason that the support and defend the Constitution is number 1 in our oath of enlistment. There's a reason for that primacy. That is our supreme command. We support and defend the Constitution over any other orders we're given, including the President of the United States. Primacy is obvious. Our Constitution is the document that binds us together as a nation. It's not the law, it's the basis of law. There are no laws that have supremacy over the Constitution, not federal, not local, not state. Our president, my commander-in-chief, also took an oath to preserve, protect, and support the Constitution, defend the Constitution. Took that oath twice. He has made numerous statements that challenge the integrity of constitutional law, and that's a violation of his oath. The only people that are allowed to interpret constitutional law are the judiciary. You want to make a change to that Constitution, you need 2/3 of the Congress, and after that, it still has to be ratified by 3/4 of the states. If he wants to challenge the integrity of the Constitution, he needs to go through the courts. Our president, my commander-in-chief, went on national television about 3 weeks ago on NBC in a live interview. He was asked point blank by a journalist whether he thought as president he needed to support and defend the Constitution. And he answered, "I don't know."
Yeah, I know, I saw that.
I saw that.
It's unacceptable. He dishonors himself, he dishonors the Constitution, he dishonors every person that's ever sacrificed and died for that Constitution. You know, excuse me, Command Sergeant Major, I'm sorry you lost your leg in Afghanistan. What did you do that for? I don't know. It's unacceptable. I've been accused of my efforts here being politically motivated, that I have something against our president, that I have something against his administration. And I will answer that by saying we're being played. Anyone that wants to come to me and say immigration is dangerous right now, that we have open border policies, that it needs to be fixed, I will 100% agree with you. Immigration is out of control right now. It's out of control. But I'm also old enough to remember when it wasn't. I remember when we didn't have to think much about it because it was huge, it was bureaucratic and boring, but it was safe for everybody involved, citizens and immigrants alike. And decade after decade, we've seen funding slashed, we've seen support cut, and attacks from every side. I have often a lot of liberal-minded people saying, oh, it's only been the Republicans that cut the budget. And no, Clinton was one of the biggest. He railroaded through 5 million people, and he didn't try to suspend due process, but it was more or less the same thing. He was rubber stamping court cases of 200-300 people at a time, and they didn't have proper representation. Biden did the same thing. So this problem's been going on for a long time. So this is the first time we've been asked by the federal government if it's okay if we suspend our constitutional rights for them to fix this problem. And I say no. You're not going to damage our Constitution to fix this. You have to find another way. If you challenge the integrity of the Constitution, you take even a piece of part of it, it's all going to fail. And that threatens the safety of us all. So I'm kind of trying to do what we did with the public laws before the Civil War. The southern states were deputizing basically posses as marshals and sending them into the northern states to capture escaped slaves and pretty much capture black people in general. And the northern states petitioned the government to have them stop, and they wouldn't. So individual states and communities started taking matters in their own hands. Vermont was one of the first, the public laws, and went by community, one at a time, basically saying the same thing we're saying here. You cannot break the laws, you cannot break our Constitution to do these things. I've been asked why I've been brought to a local level. And this isn't our sandbox. We shouldn't be talking about this in town. And I argue against that. I went to my commander-in-chief the first time he started talking about due process. I sent him many missives, emails, letters saying you can't do that. He didn't hear me. I then went to our representative and our senators to the federal government, told them, they told our concerns to the president. He hadn't heard them. I emailed the governor. He didn't hear me. Neither did my state representatives. And I went to my local alderman and I was finally heard. So now I'm doing it one time at a time. There's been 6 towns now that have adopted Rutland's resolution in the original language, just substituting City of Rutland for their own town name in it, but they've kept the original language. I think the original language is good and it stands. I've had another town that tried to remove the paragraph about the current actions of the federal administration, and my argument against that was if we weren't looking at these current actions of the federal administration, there wouldn't be any need for me to do this. We wouldn't be having to have this conversation. The reason I'm acting with such haste, and this wasn't sent to you, on the very day our president took office, January 20th, he issued an executive order entitled Declaring a National Emergency at the Southern Border of the United States, in which he directed the Secretary of Defense and the Secretary of Homeland Security to submit a joint report to the president within 90 days about whether he should invoke the Insurrection Act of 1807. As the law currently stands right now, the United States military cannot be used against the citizens of the United States, even if they're only acting as a police force due to the Posse Comitatus Act of 1878. However, the Insurrection Act of 1807 that our current president is asking about invoking gives our president emergency powers to both suspend all of our constitutional rights and actually use the military against the citizens of the United States, quote, during times of civil disorder, insurrection, or rebellion. On April 28th, 100 days after our president took office, he issued another executive order entitled Strengthening and Unleashing America's Law Enforcement to Pursue Criminals and Protect Innocent Citizens. In this executive order, he describes our judiciary's attempt at enforcing due process law rights for immigrants as, and I quote, a lawless insurrection against the supremacy of federal law and the federal government's obligation to defend the territorial sovereignty of the United States. By framing our judiciary's attempt to uphold due process as an insurrection, he's framing it in a way to be able to petition the Congress that we're under an insurrection now, you need to grant me emergency powers. I'll remind everyone that federal laws have no supremacy over the United States Constitution. He's trying to establish that he has authority over our Constitution, and he does not. There's no sovereignty in the United States. That's for monarchs and kings. That does not happen here. There's jurisdiction, there's not sovereignty. The executive order goes into effect in the next 30 days. It goes on to describe how they intend to establish best practices at state and local level for cities to unleash high-impact local police forces, protect and defend law enforcement officers wrongly accused and abused by state or local officials. And Section 6 of this order describes how they intend to use Homeland Security task forces upon state and local officials to ensure compliance with their order. Section 4 describes how they intend to use the military to perform police duty. The supreme function of the United States military is to protect the nation, protect the state from the enemies of the state. The function of the police force is to enforce the law and thereby protect the people and the property of the state. There's a really good reason we keep a separation between the military and the police. When the military becomes Pope, the enemies of the state tend to become the people. I don't know if any of you have had the sorry occasion to be anywhere in this world where the government is being used to enforce control upon the citizens. I can guarantee you no news footage really clearly define how horrific it is. This is something we do not want to happen in our homes. We need to try and prevent this no matter what. So that's why I'm acting with the urgency I'm acting. And I really, really encourage you, I implore you, to pass this resolution in the original language. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions?
No, it's pretty self-explanatory. I'm sure most of us feel very similar to what you're saying here. Not everybody in town feels the same way, however, so we have to try to act in the interest of most of our citizens. So I think that this is a good idea. I think we're going to have to talk about it. Yeah. So we didn't really allow time to talk about it at this point in our agenda.
Right.
Right. So
Time for a presentation and.
we have the presentation, and if we have any questions, we should ask. I don't have any personally.
Mhm.
Do you have any questions?
I was thinking that,
'Cause we'll have to- Yeah.
as you point out, this is written for the city of Rutland,
Right.
and we would need to then have a version to look at.
Right.
That has the proper changes for our
For our
town
town,
made in
yeah.
it, and there's at least one little change that I made, I think it's a typo, that I'd like
Yeah.
us to discuss, and
Right.
maybe we wanna make other changes. I'm happy to take the lead in making those changes for us to discuss at our next meeting.
I can
Yeah.
send you an editable Word doc instead of, right now you
That
just
would
have
be
a
easier
PDF,
than
but I-
Yeah.
trying to do optical character recognition on
Yes,
the PDF, so that would be great.
okay.
One thing, if we wanted to, that we could do tonight, which would be in the same spirit, is in 2017 at the town meeting, the town adopted a non-binding vote when we had the social issues at the end, and that was the town of East Montpelier will direct employees not to inquire into any residents' immigration status or religious affiliation as part of their official duties, and not to dedicate any time or resources to 1, providing a state or federal agency with information that would not otherwise be available to the public, or 2, assistance in enforcing federal immigration policy. The residents of East Montpelier accept, welcome, and will support immigrants. So we could reaffirm, if we wanted to tonight, we could just reaffirm this resolution that the town passed in 2017.
Yeah, it's slightly different than,
That's a different
And
thing.
that's-
It is, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
But
So maybe
What
we
a-
want to discuss that
what a
separately.
nice resolution, I mean,
Yeah.
any more backing and support behind the one I'm talking about is nothing but a good thing,
Yeah.
so.
And if we don't want to take a vote on that tonight, we can just observe that this was passed in 2017.
Yeah, we can
Language
say
in the
that
minutes.
because we've already passed it.
Yeah.
But this,
Okay.
at this point in time, if we have any questions, we should ask them.
Mhm.
And then we'll put this on agenda at the next meeting,
Right.
and you'll do a little bit of editing
Yeah.
on it, and then we
Yeah.
can.
I'd be
can-
more than happy to drive up for the next meeting too.
You can also be on Zoom,
Yeah.
save some,
I just want to be in person, especially if you're gonna have public here that wants to weigh in on it.
Uh-huh.
I'd love to come
I
and speak.
It'd be nice to have public here that would like to weigh on it.
Yeah.
And we'll, we always want it, but we don't have much attendance at our meetings. But,
Hey Seth, I have a question.
yes,
Yeah, the question is, did the town or the city of Rutland put this out for public comment?
he went to the alderman, I
So I
believe.
went to the city alderman. I made a demand basically that they do something to speak up against these attacks on due process. The 2 weeks before the next meeting, I went around drumming up public support, and one of the aldermen on the board drafted the resolution, Alderman Michael Talbot. So I did not draft that, he did it. More qualified, more intelligent than me. I thought he did a real good job. He presented that proposal at the next meeting. There was a lot of public there on both sides of the aisle. It was debated by the board and the public. They suggested an amendment where they were going to more or less gut the effective language of it. The majority of the board was in favor of that amendment, but the public spoke up and said, no, we want the original language. And ultimately, the amendment was voted down, and the board passed it unanimously with the language that Alderman Talbot provided.
So we could warn this on Front Porch Forum. We'd like to put our agenda on Front Porch Forum anyway.
Yeah.
And we could
Yeah.
do it like that, and if public wants to come, that's fine.
I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
that's wonderful, and
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's been, goal number 2 behind this is, even for the towns that aren't passing the resolution, just to have people engaged in talking about it.
yeah,
Being aware that these things are going on.
yeah.
So,
Yeah, unfortunately, we live in kind of an apolitical environment in many fronts, but it's good to get it out there, of course. And that's what we'll do. We'll get it out there, and then we'll have our next meeting, we'll have it on the agenda, we'll have an edited version. If you want to come up, that's fine.
so the next meeting will be 2 weeks from today,
No,
It's June
it'll be the first
2nd.
Monday in June.
first Monday in June.
Yes.
Yeah, which is the second.
Second.
Yeah,
I will email you the editable Word document.
Yep.
I will send you an email right now so you have my select board email.
Sweet.
And the email that I'm going to send you right now is I'm going to recognize, Mr. Franzoni, that I don't need to agree with everything you've written to us or everything you've said to be able to sign on to some version of this resolution. But as you go around and talk to other towns, I think it's important, you make a big deal of your oath as a service member to the U.S. Constitution, and say that as local select board members, we're under a similar oath. And according to the research I've done, the oath that we take is to the state of Vermont and its constitution.
And I realized I was mistaken on
Okay.
that. City alderman
You know
swear
that
to the
already.
U.S. and to the Vermont state, and I made the
I see. Okay.
mistake of assuming that all of the municipalities did the same thing.
Okay.
So I've been corrected a few times.
Okay, so you're aware of that. But
Yes, I am.
I'll just shoot you an email so you have my email address.
Yes,
and I'll
please. Do you have my contact info?
I have Franzoni title at
That's,
Gmail.
that's the one.
Okay, I'll shoot that.
that's perfect.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for all the effort you put into this.
Yeah,
It's
that's
important that
It is.
citizens like yourself step up and, the population has a say-so on, tries to have a say-so on what's going on.
And that's,
A voice.
we don't have any common ground anymore, and this is the last set of common ground we really got as a nation, is our Constitution, and that's
That's
get
important.
people talking about it, that is very important.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
And,
Thank you very much for
and
your time.
it might interest you to look at the minutes of our first meeting in March, whatever the first Monday in March was, the 3rd of March, I believe, day before town meeting day. We passed a resolution to our congressional delegation telling them about our worries about the USDA bond bank.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
saying we have used this in the past, we'd like to be able to use it for a current project that we're doing, but we don't have confidence in it anymore, and we're really sorry. We encourage you to do everything you can to uphold the rule of law in a democratic republic. So if you want that backstory, you can look at those
I'll
minutes there.
definitely-
It's along the same vein,
Yeah,
but it's definitely not as, complex as the
Right.
resolution you put forth.
Exactly.
Because this covers more facets of what's going on.
yeah,
Yeah.
Walden and Guilford did something similar with letters to the governor.
okay,
City of Burlington was already working on a resolution when I got my submittal, so
Yeah,
it's really
okay.
about 9 towns now that I know of that have
Yeah.
made some motion.
Oh, that's good.
Good.
Yeah.
Thank you,
All right,
Dan.
thank you.
yep, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so the next item on our agenda is consideration of appointing Lindy Biggs to Funding Request Study Committee.
So moved.
Yeah, I don't see her on the screen.
See you.
Do you? Thank you.
Nope,
I don't see her. So, yeah,
she's a neighbor of mine, she's good people.
I know, I,
Yeah.
100%. So, why not? So you made the motion.
I'll second it.
Tom jumped in ahead of you, we'll say.
Doesn't make a difference.
And
Come on, Tom.
we have a motion, we have a second. Do we have any further discussion? Not hearing any. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. The ayes appear to have it, they do have it. Lindy Biggs is appointed to the Funding Request Study Committee. Authorize 6:50 PM, authorize Select Board Chair and alternate to give Connor contract and notice to proceed once the GMP, guaranteed maximum price, is established and within budget to expedite construction start. Now, I thought when I talked to Connor last week, they were gathering all that information together from all the subs. That hasn't come in yet?
No, we don't have the final
Okay.
key yet.
All right, so John asked me the question is, can we just start after you get the figures? And I was like, well, if it's within budget, we'd already passed something in our minutes to approve the construction if it was within the bond or I can't remember how it was worded, but I thought we'd already said that. I don't think
Right,
it's,
but I think that it has to be signed off on. I think that's the point.
I
yeah.
think so.
So this would give us the permission to do that
Right.
without going to another meeting.
Correct.
Right.
Because I told them, I said, well, if we have to have an emergency meeting, we will, because we
Yeah.
don't want to hold up construction.
Right.
It's already being held up a bit anyway, because of the permit, the wastewater permit, we don't have it in hand yet.
Oh, we have that now.
Oh, we have it now?
Yeah.
Now, the other question was, Mark's here too, do we have the permit from the state? Don't we have to have a state, we have the town permit, but do we have the state permit?
So we have what they call the construction permit, and that's the fire permit. So we're good to go.
Okay, all right,
Prior to starting construction, I think the only we need is that guaranteed maximum.
yeah, we need that price,
We gotta have that price.
but if it's within budget, then Jen or I need the authority to sign off on it, without us calling it a meeting. That's, I think that what you're looking
Right, because we don't want to delay the
We don't want
start.
to delay the
Don't want to
construction.
delay it.
Right.
Absolutely not.
Right, so,
So, I don't
We
quite
have budget
understand how
numbers.
this is worded. Is it the suggestion that we authorize a joint signing?
No.
It would be the two of you or the either of you?
it
You don't
should
want-
say, or alternate,
Okay,
Right.
that's what it should say,
okay.
so,
Mhm. Yeah, I don't remember the exact wording of our earlier resolution.
I don't either.
too, And even if that did give you authorization, then it doesn't hurt to do it
Exactly.
explicitly, yeah.
right. And so I said to John, I will do everything we can
Sure.
to expedite the process,
Mhm.
but of course we need the figure, so we have to
Yeah.
have the figure. Is that correct, Mark?
Yes, you should, it would be good if you gave him the authority to give him a notice to proceed. And then you guys could share the guaranteed maximum price. And, granted, hopefully it's going to come under budget, but it's also good for you to know the schedule of values as the select board. Like if the concrete comes in 100,000 over, maybe something else came in $100,000 less, and you guys would like to know what that is. So just.
I honestly don't think that's information that we have to worry about. The biggest thing we have to worry about is the gross figure.
Yeah, the gross figure is a notice to proceed, and then you could share the document at the next select board meeting.
Okay. I mean, I've already seen the email about the concrete and blah, blah, blah,
Yeah.
So there's always gonna be shifting around of expenses. Some stuff comes in less, some stuff comes in more. That's that's specificity that most of the select board is not gonna be that interested in. We're more worried about the bottom line, the figure at the bottom. If the garage doors are $10,000 more, but the concrete's $10,000 less, that does not matter. What matters is the end of the day. We don't want to be going over every single figure at a select board meeting, do we? I don't think so. I mean, I'll go over.
we do to the extent that we sign the warrants.
Yeah, right, but
No, that's not, I think the information should be available.
of course it is.
You or not.
Of course it will be available, but we're not gonna have a special meeting to talk about, the concrete was a little bit more and the door casings are less and this is that and blah, blah, blah.
Totally agree.
Yeah. So anyway, okay, so I guess we need that motion to authorize myself or the alternate to sign the notice to proceed if the guaranteed maximum price is under budget or on budget. If it's way over, of course we're not gonna sign. Yes.
So the motion would read something like this: I move to authorize either the select board chair or the town administrator to give Connor Construction a notice to proceed upon receiving and approving the guaranteed maximum price for the municipal garage construction project, if in their judgment the GMP is on, or I don't even need to have in their judgment, if the GMP is on or under budget. How's that
Yeah.
sound?
Yep.
Okay, I'll make that motion
Okay, you made the motion. You just read it.
then. Yeah, well, I read the motion as a
Yeah.
suggestion, now I made it,
Yeah,
yes.
thank you.
Second.
Second,
I'll
Any-
email it to you.
any further discussion? Nada. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Right.
Aye. The ayes appear to have it, they do have it. Okay, now, this is consideration of adopting a LEMP, Local Emergency Management Plan. This is the one that you and I worked on, Jen? One
Yeah,
of them?
with Sid.
With who?
Sid?
Sid, right, correct. So, has anybody had a chance to look it over? Oh, it's right here,
It's right
actually. Yep. So I have taken the ICS 100. And you did too, actually.
I did, I
We took
don't know
it
that I
together.
ever,
You
that
and
I
I
ever
took it
submitted the
together.
proper paperwork to prove it.
That's okay, I remember when you did it.
I've taken it also.
Yeah. So we're not gonna mark the box. Okay. So I don't care who signs it. I can sign it, but you wanna sign?
So Toby signed the first line because the
To-
person has to have the ISO 100, and then the chair should sign the second line according to Sydney.
Okay. Okay, I'll sign the second one.
Oh,
Mm-hmm. Said it must be select board member, town manager, council, blah, blah.
So, if you sign this, you're going to certify that we have adopted NIMS, the National Incident Management System, and the LEMP, which the LEMP I have in front of me.
Yes,
The NIMS.
What's NIMS?
The
Incident Management
National Incident Management System.
yeah,
So it's the same system fire department uses all the time.
Sure, and good
It's the
system.
Incident command.
Yep,
system.
I'm familiar with it. I'm just wondering, when have we adopted that? Do we need to vote on adopting that?
what, NIMS?
Yeah, Because I just see before me the LEMP to vote on.
Right,
Not
you've
the
got the
NIMS.
LEMP in front of you.
Yeah,
NIMS,
I don't know if that's
I don't know.
necessary, really.
well, that's what, he can't sign it unless he can certify that we have adopted NIMS and the LEMP at a warned public meeting.
Really?
That's what it says here.
that's what it says.
I hereby attest-
I have no idea have we adopted NIMS.
Okay.
Have we adopted NIMS? You don't know.
I don't know.
I don't either.
I don't have the history.
Yeah, I don't either.
I mean, it's in the spirit of the LEMP to adopt NIMS, right?
I'll make a motion that we adopt NIMS if we haven't ever done it prior to this, which I'm sure we have, and authorize the chair to certify that we've done that.
Okay, would you be open to making the motion to
It
adopt
says
NIMS
NIMS
and
adoption
LEMP?
date right there, 5/7/12
Oh,
on this.
oh, it does. Were you looking here? Got it.
Yeah, we
Got it.
adopted it quite a while ago.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'm sure it's been.
thank you.
yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
then the blank one there is a LEMP adoption date.
And that's
Okay.
gonna be today.
Yeah.
Oh, we hope.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
With your blessing. So,
Okay. So do you want your motion to be to
Sure.
adopt the LEMP
Yes.
tonight? Okay, I'll
we've
second
already
that.
done NIMS. Okay. Okay, second that. Any further discussion about adopting LEMP? Nothing? Scott's not paying attention, that's okay. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The ayes appear to have it, they do have it. So we just adopted LEMP and we authorized me to sign it.
Sure.
Right,
I mean, that's not even necessary.
right,
Yeah.
okay. So I should sign this, says sign here. Mhm. And printed name. All right, that's done. Okay, so, it's 7 o'clock. We are not doing too bad. Consideration of Washington County Sheriff contract. And so they are, I thought you said they were considering that. They're looking at it.
Yeah, that's us, I believe.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
So usually
They
this is
are
written as a
currently
memo to
concerned.
the select board, but this seems to be a memo about the select board today.
Is that it? Is they? Who's they?
New pronouns.
Okay. Okay, perfect. All right, so we have the contract in front of us. Now, the question is, because they haven't really been doing the hours, right? Is that correct?
No, I think it's saying it's increasing $6,
The hourly rate?
yeah, from the previous year.
Yeah. The
But they
fee-
haven't been doing the full hours, to
No.
your question,
Right.
right? We
No, they
reduced
haven't.
it.
But it doesn't seem like we've needed them. We haven't had any complaints about increased police presence that I know of. Perhaps you know of some?
Mm-mm.
No?
What's the budget for that? Do you remember?
Oh my God, we keep changing the budget number.
I know,
because they-
that's why
you
I'm
know,
asking,
I think originally
because I know we
19.
reduced it.
We did, right. So it doesn't say, does it say anything here about hours? It seems pretty generic, this thing.
Yeah. The last email I see about hours is from
10,
February.
section 10 is where it talks about the hours.
Section 10 in the last page. 10, oh yeah. Well, it doesn't, it's not filled in.
It's not filled in.
Right.
That's why I was asking about
Right.
what we have for budget.
The last email about hours is from Brett Mayer saying that, in February, saying that East Montpelier requested a total of 5 hours a week. And then the rest I don't really understand. We've spent only... Okay, basically he's saying they've gone under that.
Right,
That there are only 19 weeks left at that point in the contract, and we have 39 weeks left of budget for them at 5 hours a week.
So we're gonna put 5 hours a week in there and just see what
Well,
happens
I think we need to see what the total budget is and then.
and multiply it out.
Yeah,
multiply
so
it out.
what I was gonna suggest is, traditionally, that we've had the sheriff, or before that, the local captain from the state police come in and talk to us, just have a check-in before re-upping the contract. And it seems like a good idea to do it, and we have time to do it since this current one runs until June 30th. So I was gonna suggest we invite the sheriff to come in on June 2nd. And if he's not available then, on the 14th, on the 16th.
Okay.
And that would also give us an opportunity to talk to him about the Rutland resolution and treatment of immigrants and that sort of thing. If you wanna do that.
So what's our,
I have a quick question. What will we ask them? I mean, they're, it seems like every year we really don't use the hours. So whatever it is, and if we're under budget, that'd be great.
It's a good idea to check in with your contractors, at least on an annual basis. And you know, the sort of questions that we've asked in the past have been, okay, are there hot spots in town? Or, what did you advise us to be worrying about, you know, from a law enforcement perspective, that sort of thing.
and what's our budget number, Jen?
I think it was 18,000, but I need
18,000?
I need to confirm that.
So if you multiply the 5 hours, 5 weeks
I thought we
per,
reduced
5 hours
it
per
from-
week.
I thought it was 18,000 to start with and we reduced it.
I think it was 20
18,000.
something thousand.
This current year, it's
It
18,000
is.
according to this email from February, yeah.
Okay.
So we have to pay $66 per hour, and then there's mileage too,
Yeah.
it looks like,
70
and
cents a mile.
overtime and holiday rate would be invoiced at $99 an hour. So, you know, what's it gonna cost us actually? $70 an hour with mileage, or 75 times 5, call it $80 an hour, that's $400 a week. 400 times 52 weeks is $20,000, 22,000, whatever. So you're a little over budget, kind of, if you actually use the 5 hours.
Yeah.
You know, it's gonna be close. It's gonna be close, but it's okay, because they don't usually put in 5 hours.
Right.
So we're sort of we're on close on the budget,
Yeah,
yeah.
we could ask for 5 with the expectation that it'll be less
Exactly,
and we'll meet our.
but do we need more than 5? I don't really know.
I don't think so.
I'm comfortable probably saying no, but let's have that conversation
Oh,
with
that's
Mark.
fine.
Yeah,
Sure.
see. I haven't heard any complaints about
Nope.
things we need a sheriff for. We aren't getting coverage.
Have you?
No.
So we could have him come in. Wouldn't hurt. Okay. All right. Consideration of grand list extension request. We did have somebody, a lister, ask us to grant that. It's pretty reasonable.
I move to grant the grand list, to approve the grand list extension request.
I'll
We would-
second that.
We would need a second, and we have
No.
one. Any further discussion about the grand list extension request?
So the motion actually is a 30-day extension
Extension.
request.
Yep.
Yeah.
Correct. Not hearing any more discussion, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
The ayes appear to have it, they do have it. Thank you.
I would have seconded quicker, but I didn't want to step on Tom's toes, so that's why there was a delay. But I'm happy to step up to the plate if needed.
Yeah, stop being so sensitive. Just step up and say it out. Tom's not gonna
I won't
cry.
take offense.
He's got a thick hide. He's been here before.
Okay. Okay, no problem.
And you did not comment about his hair. Or, was it the hair?
Whatever.
He said we look good, but he left out Tom. All right. 7:10, authorize town clerk to approve second-class liquor license from, must mean 4,
4.
I think. We're not getting a license from them, we're gonna give them one.
Typo.
It's the application from Fontaine Meadows.
Yes. Okay. I don't think that really requires too much discussion.
I'll make a motion, we authorize the town clerk to approve the second class liquor license for Fontaine Meadows LLC.
I'll second it.
You weren't worried about stepping on my toes.
Well, you're a neighbor, I know you too well.
But he said you look nice, so that's good.
That's true.
Do we have a second? Oh, yes. We have a second from Scott. And is there further discussion about the second class liquor license for Fontaine Meadows?
Rosie's in here right now. It's possible we have slightly different wording for this usually, but I think I'm perfectly comfortable with this wording.
Oh, okay.
It's
Usually you say something, but it's not a tobacco license, it's a liquor.
Right.
Do you have comments about drinking liquor?
It's not a great thing to do while driving.
Oh, very good.
Or immediately before driving.
All right, so not hearing any further discussion about this agenda item, would everyone that's in favor please say aye?
Aye.
Aye. Guys appear to have it, they do have it.
Does anyone know what's happening with Fontaine Meadows?
I guess it's gonna open back up, right?
Yeah, occasionally I see the gate open, but
I heard that they were gonna open up Memorial Day.
okay,
Oh, yeah,
That's
Good to know.
That's what I was told.
okay.
yep.
I haven't seen Mark, so I couldn't tell
Yeah.
you for sure.
So Hudson House offer possible executive session. Is that a good idea on that?
Any contract we go into executive session for.
Right. So, do you wanna do the warrants?
In the town
So the
administrator.
rest-
Town administrator report?
Pardon?
Let's do the rest of it first.
Yeah, that's what I think. So the warrants are here, I can pass them around. Meanwhile, the town administrator is free to give her report.
Okay, so the ash tree project is completed and the invoice is in our warrant.
That's wonderful.
The town garage permits are approved. We had 4 solar project bids received on May 15th. And then we also have the old Templeton Road right-of-way discontinuance hearing on June 16th at 6:30 over at 325 Templeton Road. And then we should come back here, 40 Kelton Road, for the regular meeting that day. For the Horn of the Moon culvert replacement project, we have the bids are due for June 6th by 11 a.m. Grant update, we have both grant agreements, the electric Ford F-150 grant signed, docu-signed on Friday, and fully executed today. And also, we have the Better Roads Erosion Inventory REI grant, that's fully executed as well. For this past Saturday, we had some thunderstorms and rain, and we had some damage reported to the office, which included 4 different areas, Coburn Road, and it was also asked to add to the agenda. North Street culverts had issues, Dodge Road culverts, and then Route 14 in North Montpelier near Fontaine Forestry and Millworks was flooded, and the road closed for a little while and then reopened after the water calmed down by 6 p.m. So, the treasurer update. So we received 2.6 million in tax payments in May alone. Also, as of May 19th, our delinquent year's taxes are 206,924. And some comparisons of prior years are in 2024, it was similar at 225K, in 23, 236K, in 2022, 243K. So it's fairly in line with the past balances, but we're doing better each year with these in general. So after we pay the Washington Central Unified School District their remaining educational share of 2.75 million, we'll have 1.5 to 2 million to reinvest. So that information will be at the next select board meeting, and also the April financials will be presented at the next select board meeting on June 2nd. So that's the treasurer update. And the LHMP, the Local Hazard Mitigation Plan, will be ready also on the June 2nd meeting, Select Board meeting.
That's the one we worked on with, what was that guy's name?
Keith Kuban.
Pete. Yeah. Yeah. All right, you want to see these, Carol?
Sure.
Thank you. Yeah. So that's it. And that covers your road report also? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so that's pretty much it. Sorry that everybody missed that retirement party the other day. For two people that were retiring from the town. Even Jen missed it. And you did.
I did.
And Tom did.
Yeah.
And Scott did. And Zoe did.
Thank you for representing us.
I thought it might be important. I was
Yeah.
mowing hay up the road. I'm like, "Gee, I better get down there."
Yeah.
So, but Chris Racanelli missed it too when it was for him.
Yeah.
I brought in a card, but I couldn't be here.
Yeah, it's all right. A few of us did, and Michelle and Heather got the food, the pizza, and it was nice actually.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it worked out well. Rosie read her thing. Did you write that?
Yeah, so I wrote it and Rosie helped also.
Oh, Rosie did too.
Yeah.
That was good. It was very nice.
Oh, good.
Yeah. I'm glad that you organized it, or somebody did. Was it you? I
A
think it was
team
you.
effort.
It was a team effort, yeah.
Yeah, I sent out the.
But that was
meeting
very
request.
nice, because putzes like us don't do things like that very well. So it's really nice to have someone in the office that can do it.
Oh.
Yeah. Bruce was awful at that, our old town administrator. He would tell me that same thing. It's like, oh shit, I don't do this stuff very well. You know, so it's nice we have someone in the office that can think about being considerate of these employees that are leaving, blah, 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 you know. So it went well.
I have some
Okay.
language ready for a motion.
I think we're ready to do that.
Okay.
Warrants are good.
Motion, the select board finds that premature general public knowledge of the contract to be discussed would clearly place the select board or a person involved at a substantial disadvantage.
Are you about to kick me out?
Yes.
Okay, I'll get off.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The ayes have it.
Motion to enter executive session for the purposes of discussing a contract pursuant to 1 VSA section 313A1A, period.
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Appear to have it, they do have it. So we're gonna get out of executive session at 7:35. We're out, 7:34. We're out of executive session at 7:34.
I move to authorize the select board chair to sign the contract discussed.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The ayes appear to have it, they do have it. We don't really have anything else, do we?
I think so.
I don't think so.
Mr. Chairman, would you like me to make the motion to adjourn?
If you feel like you'd like to, of course, we always would like everyone to be happy.
I make the motion to adjourn. Make the motion, I made it.
Did somebody have? Did somebody
Second.
have a second? Oh, Carl second.
Almost died for lack of a second.
Yeah, right. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The ayes appear to have it.
No.